6-11, and Ames controls. With it is Terry Carroll. Carroll's a smoothie, feeds it to Hemmingson, underneath to Schneider. And that was easy. Ames jumps out in front, 2-0. Into the front court comes Tim Bell. That's a traveling violation on Stick Atwood. You saw him drag the pivot foot.
Marshalltown going into their full court pressure. Marshalltown was impressed how the Harlan pressure bothered Ames the other day. They planned to press just about the whole game.
Carroll against Atwood. He tries the bomb, almost, but not quite. The rebound is picked off by Meyer, and he is fouled from behind.
Incidentally, with these two Big 8 teams playing each other, it was a year ago tonight in the semifinals that two Big 8 teams also met. That was Marshalltown and Mason City. And the final was Marshalltown 71, Mason City 68. That Big 8 do play good basketball.
The foul was against Hemmingson, his first. Dick Carter has come in, replacing Carroll here very early. Carter, 6'1". Handling the ball is Tim Bell of Marshalltown. They're in the dark uniforms if you're with us in black and white, and of course blue if you're with us in color. Oh, what a beautiful drive by Mark Weirson. Weirson, you saw him rip up the baseline, and we're tied at 2-all. That's Dick Carter, number 20, loses it. Bell's got it. This is Craig Court. To Bell, 20-footer. A rebound, Meyer. Dave Meyer, 2 points. He had 24 against Clear Lake yesterday.
Ames is wanting to get Carroll back in there. He's their playmaking guard. He only had to have a quick conference with George Duval to talk over this Marshalltown press.
All right, there's the feed into Big Schneider. Frank misses it. The follow-up, however, is perfect by Bergeson. Steve Bergeson, big number 44, gets his first basket, and it's 4-4. Tied for the second time. Early going. About 6 minutes left in the first quarter. That's Bell. He feed it into Meyer. Meyer fouled from behind by Bergeson. Bergeson's first personal foul. And Terry Carroll right back in. 6'2" senior, 3-year starter, replaces Carter.
A 3-year starter, and they call him rookie.
Stick Atwood gives it out to Bell. This is Marshalltown in the East Court. This is AA. Two great ball clubs. Marshalltown runner-up a year ago. Ames rated number 1. They re-award it to the Bobcats. Taking it out will be Mark Weirson.
First time in 4 years that the number 1 rated AA team has even made it to the state finals.
You're looking at Atwood. Gives to Weirson. He's going to try his luck. Perfect. That's 4 points for Mark Weirson. He's averaging 9. He got 19 against Clear Lake. 6-4, Marshalltown leads for the first time this evening. Carroll into the front court with that left and right hand dribble. He lost the ball, and it's out of bounds. Tried to save it was Weirson, but it'll be returned to Ames. Taking it out, Steve Bergeson, the 6'7" senior. We watch the action at floor level. Handling it is Dave Sproul. Sproul, 21-foot jumper. 2 points for the 6'2" senior. He's averaging 8. He got 8 against Harlan. His first basket here tonight. 6-6. We are tied for the third time. Stick Atwood gives to Craig Court. A superb all-around athlete. Timmy Bell, 17-footer. Perfect. So we've got an artillery exchange going here. Two clubs opening up. Both of them are hot. There you see Terry Carroll and some of the ball handling he's capable of. That's Bergeson. No, that is not Bergeson. That was Hemmingson. And the foul will be on Craig Court. His first personal foul, fouling Hemmingson as Hemmingson tried to rip up the lane.
When you match up Court and Carroll from Marshalltown and Ames, you're matching up two of the fine high school athletes in Iowa.
And Hemmy will trigger the ball inbounds. He does to Carroll. To Hemmingson underneath to Bergeson. Bergeson has 4. And it's 8-8. Fourth time we've been tied. Craig Court. Wheel and deal by Meyer. Dave Meyer, the 6'7" junior, has 4 points. And Marshalltown by 2 for the third time. Each team has led the other by 2. That's been the biggest spread here in the early going. 4.5 minutes left. You're looking at Ferguson, give to Sproul, and turn to Carroll. Into Schneider, Frank Schneider. Yeah.
You don't stop that one in high school. A man 6'11" and can jump like that and has the flick of the wrist.
He averages 15. He has 4. We're tied for the 5th time, 10 all. Back and forth, a real nifty start. Both clubs shooting very well. That's Weirson handling now. Feeds it to Craig Court, working against Carroll. Gets it away. The rebound battled for, and traveling will be called. You saw Bell go scrapping after it. He evidently had it momentarily as he fell, and that's traveling. A close-up look of Hemmingson as he puts the ball in play against the press to Carroll. And now Marshalltown backs off, except Stick Atwood's going to challenge Carroll a little bit. He gets it across, the double team him. Someone's got to be loose. It's Schneider. Bingo. 6 points for Frank Schneider.
Can you imagine how many of the 50 states would like to have this for a state championship game?
12 to 10. That's Ames by a couple. Meyer trying the hook. He was hooked himself by Terry Carroll. And that on Carroll is his first personal foul. There you see the free throw huddle, in which they call the defensive alignment following the free throw.
And if he makes the free throw, all bets are off, usually. They go back to their stock defense.
Right on the money. Dave Meyer, the youngster, 6'7" junior, has 5 points. Perfect from the free throw line. That was the initial attempt. He'll get one more. And would you believe we're tied again? 12 and 12. 6th time we've been tied. Right up the ladder. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Al Barczewski taught me that. All right. Here's the right-handed attempt. Carroll missing it. The rebound by Weirson. Picked off by Ferguson. 8-footer. 6 points for Ferguson on 3 field goals. He had 21 against Harlan the other day.
This is the 4th game this year for both of these ball clubs on the tournament, on the Betts floor. They played 2 here in the sub-state, and they both played the opening round.
Meyer missing. Weirson attempting the tip. No good, and he's charged with a foul. Mark Wearson's first personal foul.
And both of them have fantastic basketball arenas of their own where sub-state tournaments were held. The big floor won't bother them.
The pass in is to Terry Carroll. Against Stick Atwood. To Ferguson, back to Carroll, now to Sproul, underneath to Schneider. The big guy is right on the money for field goals. He's 59% on the season in field goals. He had 14 against Harlan. He's averaging 15 points. He's got 8 here already in the first quarter. 16 to 12, that's our biggest lead. It's dug away. Carroll has it. The fast break. Carroll will try. No, he tried to pass off. It winds up in the hands of Ferguson. They fight for it, and Weirson is called for the personal foul. And that is Wearson's second personal foul.
You know, the fans might be thinking Wearson's been in school a long time. They might be thinking about his brother, Mark Weirson. He played in the state tournament in 1969 and 70. Now goes to Mankato State, I believe.
Ferguson looking inside. Underneath beautifully to Sproul.
Great pass.
We saw that in the opening game this evening a couple of times with Quick on the trigger end. 18 to 12, a 6-point lead, biggest lead of the night. Ames has it. That's Bell giving it to Weirson. Weirson trying his luck from 20 feet. Court! Oh, what a massive rebound. Reverse layup by Court. Court just made up his mind he was going to get that rebound. Beautiful rebound. 18-14, 4-point lead. Ames, a collision in the backcourt. The foul is on. Offensive. It's on Sproul. Dave Sproul picked up his first personal foul. Craig Court has it out of bounds. They'll take it out in the east court. Well, on the southern sidelines, Court with his back to our cameras. Gives it in to Stick Atwood, back to Court. Court moves in, tries one from 16 feet. The rebound goes to Schneider. Jeff Ployer is checked in now for Marshalltown, 6'2" senior, number 23, is in the lineup for Marshalltown.
Marshalltown shooting the 1-and-1 from here on in the half. Ames not yet.
Terry Carroll. Carroll from about 19 feet 3 inches. That's his first basket. 20 to 14. That's 6-point spread by Ames for the second time. Atwood moving in. Off balance, gets it up. It doesn't fall. The battle for the rebound, and Schneider wins it. passes the ball off in turn to Dave Sproul. And Sproul with the right hand crosses the equator and along the northern sideline, speeds it off. It goes underneath to Bergeson. The rebound to Atwood, almost fouled. He is fouled. And they'll whistle it against Hemmingson, his second.
You know, as far as the yardstick is concerned, looking to tomorrow's state championship ball game, whether it's Marshalltown or Ames against Dubuque-Wahlert, Marshalltown played Wahlert at Marshalltown in the final game of the year. Marshalltown won it 64-61 with 8 seconds to play. It was a one-point ball game. And keep in mind, it was at Marshalltown. That could indicate a real Donnybrook coming up.
Wouldn't it, on the neutral floor? That's Atwood and Schneider. High above, not the basket, almost the backboard to sweep it clean. 50 seconds left. 20-14. Ames by 6. It's batted away and saved, but into the hands of Marshalltown. Traveling. Out of bounds in favor of Ames. At the timeline, over along the northern sideline, right in front of the official scorer's bench. And Dave Sproul, the 6'2 senior guard, into the front court to big Steve Bergeson, 6'7". Had his problems physically, but he's come through. Look at that shot. Hemmingson's first basket. He scored 11 in the Harlan victory.
Coach Duval figures him to be his best defensive ball player.
Ames by 8. Atwood, the sky ball. Rebounded by Bergeson. Foul on Schneider. Schneider detected pushing, has his first personal foul.
Schneider has a tendency to pick up the fouls. He had 4 in the opening ball game of this tournament, and of course fouled out in the sub-state. But when he's in there, he's something. He made 7 out of 11 shots against Harlan.
Yes, 215 pounds draped over that 6'11 frame. Here's 6'7 junior Meyer. And there's Schneider high after it. Gives it to Carroll. Time remaining, 10 seconds, opening frame. This quarter belongs to Ames. Try and get one off before the buzzer. Schneider apparently will try it. 1 second left. He will not get it off. And that's the end of the first. And 2 for Hemmingson. For Marshalltown, 6 for Meyer, 4 for Weirson, 2 each for Bell and Court. To tip controlled by Ames. That is Bergeson giving it to Carroll. He tries to get by, cannot. Feeds it out to Bergeson. A 22-foot bomb is short. The rebound, Meyer, out to Bell.
That's a luxury in high school when you can tip 6'11 to 6'7. And Schneider to Bergeson.
Craig Court over on the near side. He fires it up. No good. That was Jeff Ployer on the shot attempt. Ames clears into the front court. Bergeson appears free. The reverse layup, no good. Partially blocked by Meyer. And this is Bell now quickly into the front court for Marshalltown. Finds Meyer. Meyer to Ployer. 22-14. A little over 7 minutes left. Second frame. Auditorium in Des Moines. Meyer will try it. Over Schneider, and Schneider gets the rebound.
A case there where Schneider can intimidate you on defense. He makes you arch the shot a little bit more than you're used to. Bell had to go high and hit the iron.
You're watching the drive by Sproul, the battle underneath, and it's Meyer winning it, gives it to Bell up the court. Beautiful. 4 points for Craig Court.
You know, as people get a close-up on Craig Court, they might think he looks different. Last year he wore black horn-rimmed glasses. This year he's wearing contact lenses.
Carroll, I believe, wears them too. He lost one in the game yesterday.
Right on.
Oh! But those contacts fit him just fine. 4 points for Carroll. 24-16. Meyer high on it. The rebound swept off very, very emphatically by Hemmingson. 6:16 left to play. 24-16. That 8-point spread. Bergeson. Oh!
College move.
Graceful for a big guy. There you see it, a 10-point spread. That's the biggest lead of the night by either ball club. Marshalltown led by a couple, 2 or 3 times. It's been tied 6 times. Meyer to Bell. Perfect. 4 points for Tim Bell. He's averaging 9. He had 5 against Clear Lake.
I'll make you a deal. If you don't say anything about Bell Ringer tonight, I won't say anything about basketball court.
You're on. This is Carroll. Fade away by Bergeson. The rebound to Meyer, up to Bell. Drops it for Court. Craig Court has 6 points on 3 field goals. The all-tournament star of last year. Backcourt foul is on Craig Court, and that is his second personal foul. 26-20, we've got a change coming up.
Craig Court does it all at Marshalltown. He's a great baseball prospect, both Iowa and Iowa State. Coach Cap Tim and Dwayne Banks at those schools want him for baseball. He's a great one in football, All-State, and he was a 5th-team All-State basketball player last year.
Kurt Bear, 6'6", is in the lineup for Marshalltown, which just stole the ball. That's Weirson going to fire it. Beautiful fast break.
When you go to the blackboard, that's exactly the way you want to put it up there.
26-22. Marshalltown comes within 4 with 5 minutes left until intermission. Carroll dropping it in for Hemmingson, and Hemmingson somehow got it up there and got it in. He has 4 points.
Looking for eveners. Both teams will be on 1-1 the rest of this half.
That's Ployer giving to Weirson. To Craig Court. Look out. 8 points for Craig Court.
What does that great athlete do in his spare time? He's president of the student body at Marshalltown.
And second leading scorer in the school's history. This is Carroll. The rebound slapped around, picked up by Bell. He lost it. It is retrieved by Carroll. Gives it to Hemmingson, and Hemmy's perfect on the shot. 6 points for him on 3 field goals. 30-24, Ames. Hemmingson had 11 against Harlan. He's averaging 10. He has 6 here this evening. Back out of bounds to Marshalltown. There's a timeout on the court now. This word from your look. You don't have to have fans. They make enough noise by themselves. There's a look at them. All right, out of bounds, Weirson. Along the northern sidelines in the front or east court. That's Bell handling it now. He gives it to Atwood. Dick Carter is in the lineup for Ames. That was Court on the shot. 10 points for Craig Court, and there's a foul called on Dave Sproul, his second. Dick Carter in the Ames lineup, 6'1", a good shooter. He replaced Bergeson. Okay, we'll look at Weirson on the line. 30-26.
This fellow, Dick Carter, that came in, their number 6 man, or their third guard, is an unusual thing, Mark. He plays both ways in high school football in a big league.
And Weirson gets them both. He has a total of 8 points. He's 2 for 2 from the line. 30-28. Gets kind of tight. There's the pass to Carroll. Almost lost it. Retrieves it. Stolen by Weirson. It was intended for Sproul, and Weirson picked it off. That's down to Bear. Kurt Bear. Out to Bell. 6 points for Tim Bell, 23-footer.
His daddy's a junior high coach at Marshalltown. He must be awful proud right now.
We're tied for the 7th time, 30-30. This is Sproul. It's kicked around and out of bounds. They'll award it to Ames. That's Court winding up in a heap out of bounds. There's a good look at Coach Duvall.
And a minute before that, off came the sport coat in one big swoop.
Well, his ball club had a 10-point lead. They're now tied at 30-all. It can change. 2 clubs with a lot of firepower. That's Bergeson feeding it out to Sproul. Almost Schneider. Again Schneider. You saw him miss. He reloaded and rammed it home. 32-30. Ames by 2. Craig Court. Going to try and get it away. Nice move. Batted around. Picked up by Schneider. He gives it to Sproul. Sproul gets by Bell. Into the front court to Bergeson. Around the far side to Hemmingson. The rebound goes to Kurt Bear, 6'6" senior. A lot of beef. Down to Court. Craig Court handling it on the near side. Into Bear. Will he try it? Yep. Partially blocked, and he was fouled by Schneider. That's 2 on the big guy.
I bet it's been a while since they've referred to him as the Baby Bear, don't you? B-E-H-R, that happens to be. He is a big, strong fella. Incidentally, he was seriously hurt in a motorcycle accident last spring, Mark, and has come on to be quite a ball player.
Kurt Bear, the 6'6" senior, hits the first of 2 free throw attempts.
Take a pretty good-sized motorcycle, really.
That's lots of men. (32-32). We're tied up for the 8th time. Meyer goes in. Bear comes out. The change for Marshalltown. Carroll in the backcourt. Gets over the equator. Guarded by Bell. Double team now. And gets rid of it to Hemmingson. Here on the near side to Bergeson. Leaves it for Sproul. Carroll. Hemmingson in the traffic. 8 points for Hemmingson on 4 field goals. 34-32. Ames by a couple. Court to Bell. To stick Atwood. Over to Weirson. Gives it to Bell. Lost it. Retrieves.
You know, a lot of people remember that Marshalltown was a state runner-up last year, but the reason Ames wasn't here, Marshalltown beat them in the sub-state final.
From behind, Meyer. That's Atwood. And the rebound. Swept off by Hemmingson. 6'4" senior. Sproul. Bergeson. 1 minute, 10 seconds left to play in the half. It's tight, 34-32. Ames with the lead and with the ball. That's Schneider, reverse layup. It doesn't fall. Bergeson tipped out of his hands by Weirson, picked up by Hemmingson. Gives it to Carroll, 22-footer. The rebound goes to Meyer. Bell of Marshalltown moves across the timeline. 50 seconds left. Weirson backing in. It's stolen beautifully by Sproul. He gives it to Carroll. Back to Sproul. Knocked out of his hands by Atwood. Down the court. He's up and beautiful shot. 12 points for Craig Court. We are tied again. You saw the move on Court. He cut in front of Schneider, which was a smart move. 34 all. 23 seconds left to play. First half. Sproul. The rebound into the hands of Bell. 15 seconds left. Up court to Weirson, to Bell. 8 seconds left. Meyer, 2 seconds left. Craig Court follows up. It will not count. That's it. In direction to do all of this. Okay. The tip is controlled, and we have a foul. Craig Court right away as he fouls Sproul. And that on Craig Court is his 3rd personal foul. 34-34, and number 34 takes it out. That is Mike Hemmingson of Ames. He gives it to Carroll, along with Sproul, Schneider, and Bergeson. That's their starting lineup. The ball into Schneider. Back out to Sproul, 21-footer. The rebound to Bergeson's. He is fouled from behind by Meyer. The basket will not count. Meyer's first personal foul. Out of bounds in favor of Hemmingson of Ames. It's into Schneider. The big guy's got it. That's not a play. That's just a situation. When you're that big, it's a thing to do. 36-34. Ames by a couple. Atwood into Court, working against Schneider. Crosses over, gives it to Bell. From the corner, 22-footer. Tim Bell has 8. 36-36. 10 times we've been knotted. This is Carroll giving it to Hemmingson. Hemi feeds it in to Bergeson. Bergeson puts it up. A rebound goes to Meyer. He gives it to Bell, up to Court. Court had a hunch, changed his mind. Bell will try it. 2 in a row for Tim Bell. 2 quick baskets by Bell, and Marshalltown has the lead by 2. First time they've led since early in the first quarter. 38-36 Marshalltown. Wheeling and dealing is Bergeson. He has 10. And guess what? Who's tied up? Here's Atwood. This is Weirson. Craig Court. Dangerous pass, but he got it over. The rebound, they got him boxed in, and they're going to call the foul on Schneider. And that is 3 on big Frank Schneider. Court moves out of the lineup. And Flathers comes in. Jerry Flathers, 6'3" junior, number 33. Handling it is Atwood, nicknamed Stick, for obvious reasons. Take a shower in a shotgun barrel. Bell. Out to Atwood. In the corner, back out to Atwood. Ought to give him a point for that one. The rebound swept off by Ferguson, down to Carroll. 16-footer, perfect. Terry Carroll with a beautiful shot.
Mr. Take Charge, Mark. That's the guy that really runs the show.
40-38. Ames by a couple. Baselining it, working hard. Is Flathers. Rebounding it is Hemmingson for Ames. Heading east here at the Auditorium. Schneider slapped out of Carroll's hands, almost saved by Meyer. And you know what you get for almost. Out of bounds. In the Bergeson, 12-footer. Steve Bergeson, very graceful. Big guy, just lofts it in. 42-38, Ames by 4. They build it up. That's Terry Bell. Hey, Bell is hot. That's 3 in a row for him. 12 points. 42-40. 5 minutes left. Third period. And that is Carroll working against Atwood. Looking for Schneider. He's not free. Now he is. The hook.
No way you're going to stop that one, high school or college.
No, the sky hook. Boom. 44-40. It's a pretty shot. One of the pretty shots in the game. Weirson feeding it into Meyer. He wheels. He deals. And in the Valley of the Giants, they're up in the toaster and coming up with it a jump ball.
When you talk about Snyder in college, 80 schools are singing overtures. He says it'll either be Idaho or Colorado State.
Hemmingson will jump against Atwood. Circle nearest the Marshalltown basket. The tip, Meyer lost it, picked up by Schneider. 4.5 minutes left. Third quarter, 44-40. Ames on top. Has led by 10. Marshalltown's biggest lead, 2. They've had that about 3 or 4 times. That's Schneider, a 10-footer. The rebound, Ferguson. Oh, he just muscled his way for that one.
What a tandem. 1-2 punch that time. They're
14
big.
for him. Slapped out of bounds and no, not out of bounds. It was saved by Meyer, but into the hands of Ferguson of Ames. And Meyer piles into the back of Carroll, as you saw, and that's 2 on Meyer. There's a timeout on the floor by Marshalltown. Now this word from your local station. Lifted. That's a change for Marshalltown. Court is out. Flathers is in. Over on the far side is Carroll for Ames. He gives it to Ferguson. He pulls his way in, puts it up, and a foul called on Ferguson. Will the basket count? The basket counts. Ferguson gets the basket. He has 16. He also has a personal foul, his second. And there you see Coach Duval.
Mark, 38 of the 49 broadcasters covering this tournament this year picked Ames to win it all. 38 of the 49. However, 9 of the other 11 had picked Kennedy.
That's Meyer trying to get through. He couldn't. Weirson rebounds, and Schneider fouls him. Schneider has 4 personal fouls. And Craig Court comes back in, and going out is Jerry Flathers.
As Craig Court comes in, would our director, Bill Jackson, allow me to say that Marshalltown's going to court? He wouldn't.
You notice who I'm ignoring, Mitchell? Court feeds it into Meyer. Meyer out to Bell. Trying to work in is Weirson. Over to Bell. To Court. Atwood, 18-footer. And that is Stick Atwood's first basket of the night. 2 points. He's averaging 4.5. He had 6 against Clear Lake. 48-42. 3 minutes left to play. Carroll coming around. into Schneider against Meyer. The rebound underneath out of bounds. They'll award it to Marshalltown. Craig Court will take it out. Court, Bell, Atwood, Weirson, and Meyer in the lineup currently for Marshalltown. Carroll, Bergeson, Schneider, Sproul, and Hemmingson for Ames. Ames leads. This is Craig Court. Working against Bergeson. Gives it to Weirson. And Weirson has 10 points.
He puts lots of English on there. You notice that thing revolve as it went up?
Caught the back of the rim and zoop. 48 to 44. 2.5 minutes left. Third period. Carroll, look out.
This young man was All-State a year ago at guard when his team didn't make it to the state tournament, and that can be hard to do.
45% from the field this season. He has 8 points here. He had 17 against Harlan. He's averaging 10.5. Dave Meyer against Schneider. Lost it. Picked up by Bergeson. Sproul moves up the backcourt, crosses the equator, bugged a little bit by Bell, and gives to Carroll. Less than 2. Third frame. 6-point spread enjoyed by Ames. It's kicked and saved. Carroll kicked it, saved by Atwood, up to Bell, 2-on-2. He might try it.
That's confidence in your own shot when you go for it with 2 white jerseys under there, but he got it.
Ring-a-ding-ding-ding. 50 to 46. Bell has 14. Schneider all alone. Man, they spot the big guy alone, and he just licks his chops on that one. 52 to 46. You know, put that in twice. Dug away by Bergeson. Intended for Court.
People think Bergeson's been at Ames a long time. They might be remembering his brother Steve. He's now a junior at Morningside College, who played in the tournament here in 70.
Boy, and that is Steve Bergeson with his 18th point.
Or his daddy Verl, who played in the state tournament for Ottumwa in 1947, and they got 4th.
Stick Atwood, foul underneath Bergeson. I think the basket will count as well.
And would you believe there's another Bergeson yet to come? His kid brother Matt is in 9th grade, 6'2".
And that's got to make him feel real good at Ames. The basket by Atwood was good.
3 seconds.
All right, ball in play. Handling it is Poyer, who's in the lineup replacing Atwood. That's Poyer with the ball. Gives it to Court. Marshalltown controlling the ball. Ames controlling the lead. That is Bell. The rebound goes to Weirson. Puts it up. No good. The rebound to Court. Fouled from behind by Hemmingson. And that is 3 on Mike Hemmingson. 28 seconds left. 54-48. 6-point spread. There's the huddle. You get the feeling they're going to come off tackle when they come out of there, don't you? All right, here's Craig Court. Got to get that first to get the second.
You're looking for a parallel to looking ahead a year. Marshalltown and Wallard, who are still alive in this tournament, both started 3 juniors today.
Court is scoreless in the third quarter. He had 12 at halftime. In the lineup for Ames is Dave Bunker, number 54. That's Bunker underneath. Oh, and that was Weirson with a fine play. Over to Bell. 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Meyer will try it. 8 points. 4-point spread. Ames with the edge. The tip, Court. Gives it to Bell. He gives it out in turn to Jeff Ployer. The Court knocked out of his hands by Hemmingson. Quite a thriller. The opener had HLV knocking off Johnston 58-56. Class A play. Bell, nice feed to Weirson. A lot of traffic, and they were too close. He's fouled. Sproul has his 3rd personal foul. So here's Weirson. These all-important free throws. He's 2 for 2 from the line so far. He has 10 points. Still has 10 points. looking floor level. Carroll move it into the east court for Ames. Schneider. The big guy misses that one. The follow-up. Ferguson fouled by Court. Let's see if it'll be good or not. No basket. No basket. Craig Court picks up his 4th personal foul. Duval off the bench, as you could see, and he's got an assistant that's distraught over there. Here's the pass into Sproul. Perfect.
You've got Craig Court, the #1 gun for Marshalltown, in there with 4 fouls on him. You've got Frank Schneider, the #1 man for Ames, in there with 4 fouls. As both coaches going hard at it right now for broke, and both teams are on 1-1 the rest of the way.
That's right. No reason to pull them now. The attempt by Ployer, and the rebound, all White. Hemmingson had it, but Schneider was there, and so was Sproul. Sproul brings it into the front court, gives it to Hemmingson. Hemmy gives it to Sproul, over to Carroll. Carroll underneath to Ferguson, Big Steve. Yeah. 20 points for the big guy, 10 field goals, timeout on the floor. Now this word from your local station. 10 before they made it up and took over the lead. Can they do it again? Time will tell. 6:40 left to play. Runner-up last year to Cedar Rapids Kennedy, Ames, #1. State of Iowa. This is Dave Meyer. Can't find the range. A rebound by Ferguson. Big Steve.
Ames sits on a big opportunity right now. 8-point lead, and they've got the basketball with 6:24.
Handling it is Carroll underneath to Schneider. 18 points for Schneider for the second time. Ames leads by 10. That's its biggest spread. There's the steal. That's Carroll. Knocked out of his hands beautifully by Bell. Great play by Bell.
One of the great defensive plays of this tournament this year was right there. It came at a critical time because 12 points would have been an awful lot with 6 minutes to go.
They give it to Ames, and that's Hemmingson out to Carroll. Sproul. Ferguson. Steve Ferguson tries it. The rebound picked off.
And that makes that defensive player look even bigger now.
Mark Wierson on the rebound. That's Meyer trying to handle it. They're going to give it up to Ames. And, of course, Marshalltown can ill afford those kind of turnovers right now. 60-50. In the backcourt, Carroll. And that's Jerry Flathers tight on him. Over to Sproul. Gives the pass to Carroll, to Ferguson. 5:30 left to play. Final quarter. Semifinal game, AA. The winner goes into the title game. That's Carroll. The battle for the rebound. Hemmingson, no. Meyer on the rebound. Tries to find an outlet. It's up to Bell. Bell to Wierson. Look at him turn on the steam. He misses the layup. And the rebound by Hemmingson of Ames. Craig Court getting ready to come back in. That's Carroll handling it, giving it to Hemmingson. 60-50 it remains. Less than 5 now. It'll be a foul on Bell. That's his first. Craig Court comes in. Flathers goes out. On the line, Dave Sproul, 6'2" senior, 70% from the line this season.
He's an outstanding golfer. I believe he was runner-up in the Ames City tournament this year.
Craig Court. The steal is by Ferguson. It was intended for Wierson. Ferguson's got it. Ames in control. 4:37 left to play. Schneider slapped away. Schneider gets it, however.
Their bench has frantically been trying to get time out to change his strategy with a 10-point lead, but the kids can't hear him or see him.
Now they do, and now this word as Ames leads 60-50. It was 54-50 at the 3 quarters. It's been quite a drought. This is Carroll handling. Ames in the white uniform. Ranked #1. Over to Sproul. Sproul finds the gate open, tries to get through and does.
Big bucket right there. Watching for his change in strategy, I didn't see much after Ames had called the timeout.
Ames now has a 12-point spread, the biggest lead of the ball game. Weirson and Atwood playing catch. Atwood on the attempt. The rebound goes to Schneider. He gives it to Sproul. He holds it up. Waits for his ball club to get down court. Now he moves across the equator and bounce passes it to Hemmingson. Looks into Ferguson. Ferguson moves out of there and gives it off to Sproul.
Mark, oddly enough, you remember the fourth quarter last year. Marshalltown went cold against Kennedy for the state championship.
That's right. Oh, Ferguson, nice move. Missed it. Schneider on the follow-up. No, sir. And Dave Meyer gets it. Marshalltown looking for his first basket of this quarter and still looking for it. You saw Court with the air ball. Man, they're cold. That's Ferguson. That's Sproul.
Ames doesn't have to hurry. 3 minutes. They're well drilled.
And a 12-point lead. That's Ferguson. And the rebound goes into the hands of Meyer. He gives it to Bell. Bell to Atwood. Atwood saves what wasn't a particularly good pass. Back to Bell. Craig Court, 20-footer. There's a lid on it. Ferguson gives it off to Sproul. Ames in control with 2.5 left. Very much in control. That's Ferguson. 22 for Ferguson. And there's a tie. Marshalltown, a bridesmaid last year, just a member of the wedding party this year, Frosty.
Yes, they are. Something to watch right now with Ames a 14-point lead. A 12-point lead after Court makes that. Don Grunwald, the Harlan coach, told us after he lost 71-61, we might still be number 2. He said, I don't know if anybody else can come within 10 points of Ames.
64-52. Hemmingson, 10 points for him. 66-52, the 14-point lead the second time. 1 field goal in the final quarter, 2 field goals. That's Weirson. That's only the second field goal by Marshalltown. And the foul is on Bell. A minute 44 left, 66-54. As Frosty mentioned, against Kennedy Cedar Rapids in that title game last year, it was a ball game for 3. Actually, Kennedy turned it on in the third quarter, but Marshalltown was still in it going into the fourth, but not in the fourth. And here again.
This young guy at the free throw line works part-time as a plumber's helper. Right now he has a chance to help Marshalltown down the drain in this tournament.
10 points for Dave Sproul. The foul will be called on Ferguson as Weirson hit the deck. He's okay. A little bit of contact with a minute 41 left to go.
Do you think Ferguson's big enough to play football? He doesn't. He got a shoulder separation playing football. Says he's not going to play football anymore.
Stanley played some baseball as well, or still does. Maybe he's forsaken that. Weirson missing the free throw. It's just been a lousy quarter for Marshalltown, let's face it.
He was a pitcher, Mark. Had a great season going last year and got mononucleosis in the middle of it.
Craig Court dug it away. Craig Court. Nice block. 15-yard penalty for that one, however. Boy, he almost moved Sproul right out of the ballpark.
A great athlete has just fouled out of probably his last tournament experience, except for a consolation game tomorrow afternoon.
And you see Coach George Funk greet him. And indeed, a superb student as well.
His 64th straight basketball game for Marshalltown, which is the 4th highest in Bobcat history.
And now we watch Dave Sproul, S-P-R-O-W-E-double-L, 70% from the free throw line. He has 10 points.
You talk about him putting the ball in the hole right there. They tell me he's a fantastic putter as far as his golf game, which is outstanding.
And that lead of 15 is the biggest of the night. Make it 16.
And not indicative of the matchup we have here.
12 points for Sproul. Bell partially blocked. Ferguson has it. Down to Carroll, slapped away. Carroll tries to save and does. Hemmingson from behind the basket, and that's what he hits. But touched in part by the defender, out of bounds, Hemmingson. for Ames, and here's a change for Ames. Dave Knutson, 6'1" junior, coming into the lineup. Also coming in is Dick Carter.
And that big redhead that came in is Dave Bunker. If you think he's big, he's the All-State football center and will go to Iowa State University in his hometown of Ames on a football scholarship.
Hemmingson passing the ball in to Knutson. He in turn gives it to Bergeson, to Knutson, to Bergeson, to Knutson, almost tied up by Bell. Back to Bergeson. Less than a minute, palming the ball. Bergeson palms it. So they give it out of bounds to Jerry Flathers. Into the lineup, Mark Robinson, 6-foot senior for Marshalltown.
Wow, what a Donnybrook tomorrow night.
Into the lineup for Ames is Howie Campbell, 6'2" junior. This is Robinson handling it. Over to Bell. Oh. The rebound by Dick Carter. Someone's lost a shoe. And that is number 15. Mark Robinson lost his shoe. The foul is on Bell. His second personal foul. They retrieve the shoe and toss it in. More changes. Hemmingson comes out. Going in is Drew Palmer. There you see Mark Robinson putting his shoe on, and now we have a timeout being called by Coach Duvall and his Ames ball club, as they've got this one in the bank and have had actually for a few minutes now.
Our matchup tomorrow ought to be interesting. You have a parochial school in Dubuque-Wahlert against a public school in Ames High School. And you have a conference team from the Big Eight, Ames, against the only independent in the field, Wahlert. The Iowa Broadcasters Association is approaching a quarter century of service to Iowans. IBA, dedicated to community service. Well, Mark, when you go back to the start of the week and you try to point towards a big one in that double-A, you've got it, 2 unbeatens, and you've got a double-A set up tomorrow night that just ought to be a dream game.
And we're looking forward to it very much. We take a look now at Dick Carter. His first point, 30 seconds left, 71-54 by 17. By 18 now, as Carter hits them both. Quickly up that backcourt is Doug Atwood. Giving it to Robinson, knocked out of his hands, and he is fouled by Drew Palmer.
Mark, with Ames winning this one, it's the 24th game that Ames has ever won in a state tournament, tying them with, would you believe, Marshalltown and Des Moines Roosevelt for the second spot in all-time wins in state tournament play.
The rebound attempted to save and is saved by Howie Campbell. Slapped out of the hands of Dick Carter and out of bounds by Atwood. They will return it. There's the time remaining to Ames, and Campbell will take it out. Dribbling with it is Knutson. Gives it to Palmer. Campbell underneath. 6 seconds left. Here's the shot attempt by Dave Knutson. At the buzzer. It's all over. That's the end of the game with the score, Ames 72, Marshalltown 54. We'll be back after this word from your local station. Marshalltown, running into a miserable final quarter in which they scored only 4 points, goes down 72-54 before the number 1 Guns of Ames, Iowa. 72-54, outscored 18-4 in the final frame. Thus it is Ames and Wahlert tomorrow night in Double-A for the title, preceded by Mount Vernon and HLV in Class A. In consolation in the afternoon, Solon and Johnston in Class A. In Double-A, it'll be Kennedy and Marshalltown. Our game was tied 11 times, the last time at 38 all, and that was in the third quarter. The individual scoring quickly for you. First of all, for Ames, they were paced out here by Steve Bergeson. Big Steve had 22. He had 21 against Harlan.